Nashville.
The views and opinions of the following show are those of the host and the host only, and not those of Heidelberg Broadcasting, its ownership, or management.
Welcome. Good evening, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the RFD Talk. I am Robin F. David, and I'm super excited to be here at WVOL 147, the mighty Heritage radio station here in Greater Nashville. Come on in, everyone. Are you amazing listeners, followers? I want to say hello. Happy Monday to you. I'm hoping that your Monday is starting off well since we just had Resurrection. Sunday was yesterday, and that was a beginning of a new day for you all. I'm hoping that you all had fun, food, and family. Those which really make the holidays really the best for most of us. And if you didn't have food, family, and friends, I hope that you had a great solitude day and that you enjoyed the rising, the he has risen. And that to me was so important to me as a woman of faith. I have a certain holidays that really resonate with me, and the Resurrection Day was a day of really kind of like April and Resurrection and Easter and all that kind of brings back all those things about how God has really given us. When He died and He rose on the third day, how He has given us the opportunity to do the same, like rise with Him, be healthy, be prosperous, be abundant, be at peace, be the best version of ourselves. So I'm very grateful and thankful that I had a fun time with my family. Had way much too fun eating food. I enjoyed my grandsons. They are so sweet and adorable. And then I love seeing kids with all their little Easter baskets and all their little fun colored eggs. And now they have all these neat ways to do the eggs. When I was raising my amazing, thriving, healthy, abundant children, I was raising them. We had the old fashioned way. You had to get the hot water, I think it was, and you put them in little sections or cups, and then it would be a little messy at sometimes. So you want to not wear your fancy stuff, dyeing the clothes. And I think you had to put some vinegar in the water. And it's been so long. It's been so long. But I really enjoyed my Resurrection Day, and my pastor, Dr. Ben and Jewel Tanker. If you're a part of Destiny Center, you did rise with Jesus on yesterday, because I'm telling you, they taught a word yesterday on expecting great things to happen in the season. In this season, it makes me think about April too. April is the month that I think of as April showers. That reminds me that April showers brings May flowers. And how many of you have been dealing with April showers? We've been having a lot of showers here in the greater Nashville and through the Tennessee area. And if you're from this neck of the woods, you gotta go find shelter some days. We had some interesting weather when we're transitioning from fall to spring and bringing it into summer soon as possible. And that reminds me, today I want to as we thank God that we're in the new season in the spring, and it's the first quarter of the year, all these things that are springing forth and beginning new beginnings with your health, your mind, and your body. Today we're going to talk about, our topic today is going to be about emotional self-care. But before we get into our topic, I definitely wanted to go back and thank the sponsors of the RFD Talk Show. And one of our amazing sponsors, again, is Shave Me Down Body Butter, which you can find Shave Me Down Body Butter. You can go to Shave Me Down Body Butter on Facebook, and there it is. You can go to the website. And if you're watching from YouTube or if you're watching from Facebook, on the bottom here on the screen, you can also email Shay Me Down at shaymedown06@gmail.com. So we definitely, if you need good body butter, it's made with love. It's such a great product. I was out with some of my girlfriends about a week ago. Got to give a testimony about the Shake Me Down, and I gave it away. I always like to give it away as gifts, and I gave it to some of my life coach friends. And they were like, at the end of our brunch, they said, "Robin, I need some more of that Shake Me Down." But one of my coach friends was like, "My husband used mine all up. I didn't get to use it." And he's like, "Who is Shake Me Down?" So definitely you want to get you. We have different variety of sizes and fragrances. And again, one of my favorite fragrances is lavender. It's soothing, it's calming. And then we also have Majestic Elegance Candle and Company, which is a 100% soy candle. And let me tell you, I love Majestic. And you can also go to their website at livemajestic.com. Again, that is livemajestic.com. And there is a array of fragrances, and I am super excited that I have gotten my candle from this company. I've been using their products since I think they were birthed in the pandemic, and so when we were going through this company was this a brand new company, and this eco-friendly, and it has a crackling wooden wick. And let me tell you, last night I took my spiritual bath and I had to burn my candle. I want to thank this company because I was in my spiritual bath, and that means for me, I lit the candles and then I just get into a really good a lavender bath with some Epsom salt. You put your little salt in there, your salt into your water, and I wanted to just relax and just really get into prepare for resting. And sometimes it's just important to take a really good spiritual bath before I enter into rest. And I was burning my candle, and you can hear the wood just going click, just having a little. If you're burning like a fire and a fireplace, and it has that little crackling sound, is so nice. And so definitely want something that's nice and sounds good and smells wonderful. You want to check out the Majestic Elegant Candles and Company. Our next segment. And remember, we're going to take a deep breath before we go into my next segment, because sometimes you just got to take a deep breath. So if you're driving, I don't want you to close your eyes. But if you're at home and you've had your 9 to 5 and you've made it home, just take a deep breath with me really quick. We're just going to take a deep breath before we go into this. What did the Lord say to RFD? Okay, let's take a deep breath with me. So inhale and exhale. So you want to inhale and hold it for a couple seconds. Let's inhale again. And exhale. So it is Monday, right? And so what did the Lord say to RFD? Let's see. The Lord said to RFD, "I am necessary. I allow myself to be of service in a vessel of inspiration." And this week, you have to remind yourself. Is when I was meditating before the Lord, I said, "Lord, what will I tell our listeners today that you said to me?" And he wants me to know, and he wants you to know that you are necessary. So you want to allow yourself to be used for service in a vessel of inspiration. And that takes a person who is willing, is willing to check in and check on yourself, on your your emotional wellness. And that gives us the topic today. And we're going to talk about, are you taking care of your emotional self. Are you really taking care of your emotional self? Do you feel necessary? Do you feel like you are able to serve and be the vessel of inspiration? And sometimes, and this is when you want to get your pencil and your paper out because we got to go through this together. I want to welcome all the listeners, all the viewers, and all the repeat listeners and viewers. I want to thank you guys for being here. And I definitely want you to know that you have some questions. I would love for you to call in today. Make sure you can call in on the show today and ask the questions here at the radio station. And you can call in today at 615-227-17. Excuse me, I apologize. I said that wrong. 615-227-1470. So if you have any questions today, we're going to be talking about emotional self-care today. How are you feeling? You know, Wendy, I was thinking today on my way to the radio station, and I'm a big fan of Wendy Williams, and she's always asked her audience, how you, she always say, how you doing, right? And I said, Wendy, I love how you doing. But when it comes to RFD Talk want to ask the question today, how you feeling? How you feeling? How are you feeling on this Monday? And sometimes when I ask, how are you taking care of your emotional self-care? Sometimes when you ask people how are you feeling? Are you really willing to hear how they're feeling? How they're feeling feelings? How you feeling? So when we talk about our emotional self-care, I definitely want you to first of all remember that we are four-part being. We are a four-part being. So emotional self-care is when you're feeling something. Like, you know, so I'm feeling some kind of way. You hear people say, I'm feeling some kind of way. It's Monday and I'm in a mood. I got a mood going on. Some of my clients say, oh, I say, how you feeling? And then I chime right in, because definitely when you ask people how you feeling, you might be opening up a whole can of conversation, because a lot of times people, as we know ourselves, we are feeling people. And sometimes I feel like when people wake up on Mondays, they feel like, OMG, it's Monday. And you shouldn't feel like that. I think that when you wake up on Monday, you need to be waking up saying, yes, yes, the joy of the Lord is my strength, and it is Monday, and I am ready to take on this assignment. I'm necessary, and I'm serving. I'm a vessel, and I will inspire other people. Today is Monday. And I know sometimes that is not the case when people go to work on Mondays, and Monday you get notifications and people want to call you on Monday. And Monday is a day of a lot of things that hit you that you were not planning for, because you just left church on Sunday and you're feeling real good. And then on Monday, your boss may say something, or somebody may look at you some kind of way. And then you're like, oh, I'm not feeling that. I am not feeling that. So how many of you listeners sometimes just don't be feeling it? Just don't feel it because it's Monday, or you're not feeling it because you're just not feeling it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So please call in, comment. Please leave your comments here on the page. All your comments are so very important, and all your feedback is so important. So I do appreciate that. So I have another question. Do we blame other people when we in a mood? Are you blaming other people when you feel some kind of way? When you mad at work on Monday at your boss, or when your children are not following the rules, or when your significant other, your partner, or your loving husband or wife is really doing some things that you just are feeling some kind of way. And that's why RFD like to say, how you feeling? How you feeling today? And people are good at telling on ourselves. Like, I am not feeling it today, Robert. I'm not. I feel bad. Someone so that made me mad, and I just don't feel good today. And so I hear a lot of that. So that's why I wanted to talk. And sometimes even RFD have to remind herself, how you feeling today, RFD? So let me tell you, this question is not just because I'm asking you, but this is a question that I definitely have to practice even in my own everyday life. So what do I do in this conversation? Well, we're going to talk about five self-care strategies that I normally apply to my everyday life, especially when it comes to my feelings. So remember I said that we are a four-part being. First of all, we have feelings, and those come up. They come up every day, all the time. And so you have feelings, part one of you. Part two of you is your thoughts. And part three of you is your physical person, the physical body that you're in. And then part four is your spiritual being. We are all spiritual beings. And some use the word energy and all that. And that's also true too, because we're energy, which is a spiritual part of who we are. So we have four parts to who we are. And that's what you'll hear me talk as a certified spiritual healing and wellness, emotional healing coach and consultant. You'll hear me talking about how I help people with their alignment, with their mind, body, and their spirit. And those are the four compartments that who makes us a better person every day and all the day of our lives, show up how we show up, how you feeling. So when you show up to a place, they say, how you feeling? What do you normally say? I just definitely want you to think about that. RFD just want to know how you feeling tonight. It's Monday night, the day after resurrection. So how you feeling? So one of the things that I've learned in my emotional self-care tool pack that I like to share with my clients and that I share with myself and my friends and family is I like in my work business partners, I like to show up like this. I like number one for one of the reasons, one of the things I say in my five self-care strategies will be maintaining your friendships. Yeah, it's very important to maintain friendships because it also helps you with your emotional self-care. So you have to have really good friends in your life. You want to make sure that you are creating healthy friendships. Friends who will remind you that you don't have to feel that way because I'm here for you. You can call me. We can do something together. How can I help you? I'm here to support you. So you want to create friends that who love you even when you're not feeling so good. Even when you're feeling a little in a bad mood or you're feeling a little negative, those friends remind you how to count your blessings and to remind you how much of a great friend you are. And so, one thing I recommend is to call your friends and check on them and be there for your friends because what happens in life, if you maintain your friendships, then you're also putting yourself in position that when you're emotionally on empty, that what you have deposited in your friends, they deposit back in you. Last week or so, I had my friend surprise me. She came from out of town and came and see me. It was right on time because I needed my friend at that time. And I had literally just said a prayer. I was like, God, I just need you to surround me with boss women, women who love you, who worship you, who live their life aligned to you, who is following their goals, who are I can trust with my deepest disappointments or my best personal spiritual rewards. So you want to have maintain good friends. So I was just thinking that last Sunday, I think it was. And my friend was like, what you doing? I was like, really getting my emotions together. And I was like, I'm really, cleaning my house, preparing for this. And I was just having a Sunday evening with myself. And she was like, well, guess what? I'm 5 minutes away from you. I said, 5 minutes, you're going to be in my parking lot? It's just like 5 minutes, I'm ringing your doorbell. And I said, God, you sent me a real genuine friend at the time when I was needing a genuine friend. Like I really needed a friend to tell me snap out of feeling the way I was feeling. And so that's important to maintain good friends. And she showed up and we had an amazing time together. And I said, I am very grateful to maintain this friendship because she's been my friend since high school. So you don't want to, for some of you listeners, you might can't see me, but I don't want to tell my age today. We'll talk about that on another show. But so I've been maintaining her for over 30 years, and she's been in my corner with all my children, all my stuff I've been through. She was my maid of honor of my marriage. So she's been my friend for a long time. So she's seen me crying, she's seen me praising, she's seen me in all states. So you want to maintain your friendships. They are very important as who you become and as you grow. And number two, you want to plan something to look forward to with your friends, a trip, or whether you go on a trip, or you and your mate go on a trip, or you and your girlfriends go on a trip. You want to plan something. With the weather becoming warm, it's so many wonderful events here in Nashville coming out. We got the jazz out on the Cumberland. We got all these wonderful things happening in Nashville, right? And so I told her she has to come back. We got rooftops, and we have all these different great things. City Winery. We have all these wonderful places that will jazz and music and fellowship. And one of my friends is having a paint and sip. You want to do intimate things with your friends where you can have those moments where you can express yourself and you can tap into how they're feeling. So you can pour and exchange the support to one another. So sip and paints are fun. You can do some pottery. So you want to get some real fun things together, plan some things, and look forward to hanging out with your friends, right? So that's number two. Those are fun things, guys. So I want to know, you got to text me, call in here at 615-227-1470 and tell me some of the things that you are doing for emotional self-care. I love to hear some of your feedback on these tips. So number three, yep, number three is a part about getting regular exercise. So for me, I tell you, when I talk to one of my clients, or if I think about myself, when I think about one of my clients and they'll say, well, Robin, I'm in the mood and things have been like this. As soon as I say, how you doing? And they get into telling me all that, the first thing I realize is, remember, we're a four-part being. And when I think about being a four-part being, I think, oh, something is off in their alignment. And that's what people are really telling you. Somewhere in my alignment, I'm not doing the things I need to do for my self-care, emotional wellness. Because when feelings show up, you got to let them come up. You can't avoid the feelings. You can't if you're feeling sad, you don't want to be feeling sad for 7 days. I just want to interrupt you right now. You don't get 7 days. You remember when your medicine says if you have a fever and your doctor said you can take the Tylenol for what, 72 hours to my remembrance. I think you can take it for maybe 3 days. So you can take the Tylenol for 3 days because you're feeling a little sad, or you can take, you got a temperature. You can be sad and let those feelings come up. Let them rise up, sit in on. I'm not telling you that these feelings are not real. When you feel sad, or when are you feeling a little bit depressed, or you feeling a little unhappy about something, or something is going on and you think it's a lot, it's overwhelming. I'm not telling you that those feelings are not real. I'm not saying avoid them, but I am saying to you, if you don't do something about those feelings after 7 days, then you may be running into some other body challenges. And because feelings will show up somewhere else. They'll show up where you'll start having back pain, or you'll start having migraine headaches, or you'll start having pain in your leg. Each pain in the body is a reflection to somewhere in the four parts of your alignment that you may not be applying some of these tips. And they're basic tips. Everybody that's a part of self-care, self-love probably said the same thing. But until you apply it, that part right there. I remember, being coached and trained and being a student to life. And until I applied it, I couldn't really understand what, all these coaches talk about self-love, and all these coaches talk about self-emotional wellness. But then until you apply it every day to your life, you cannot experience what it really means to evaluate yourself. So, do anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Before we go on to number 3, I want to talk about that because it's very basic. It's number 3 is regular exercise. Regular exercise for me is 3 days a week. It's important the 3 days a week that I do something for my body to stay connected to the fore part of who I am. I must join. You might join a gym, but when I talk about exercising, I know some of you like, oh, I'm gone now. I don't want to talk about exercising. That word sounds like work. So definitely you don't want to just exercise. You want to do stuff that's fun and playful. You want to because if you think of exercising as, oh, I don't want to do the same routine every week. I don't always want to feel like I have to go treadmill. I don't feel like I want to do weights. After a while, it's the first of the year and you started off so well in the beginning of the year, but then it was just like you chose a gym that's too far away and those things don't fit in your alignment. You definitely want to remember that you want to make working out fun, like playing. For instance, I'm a yogi. Why am I a yogi? Because I like meditation. I like stretching. I like to be flexible in life. I like to have mobility in life. So yoga brings me all of that. And I don't have to do it perfect. I don't have to do my dog stretch perfect. I don't have to do uh, uh my back being to the back all the way. Some people can bend their back all the way. Some people can move their arms way. But I'm actually just accepting who I am in yoga. And yoga is just like playing. It's like playing. And then I say to my body, thank you. So I like swimming. Last year, for some of you who have been following me for about a year now, this time last year, I was swimming. Swimming was like playing. It was reminding me when I was a kid and I could go outside and my mom be like, when you better get back up here from the recreation center. And I'd be like, dang, I want to swim a little longer. So it's just do things that remind you of playing. Just it's fun. It's easy. It's effortlessly. You're not, don't worry about investing in a gym that costs too much because you don't really know if you can afford it. Be part of something that has no contract. So it can be with ease and grace. And you can just say, oh, I can go today. I can pay as I go. So you can free yourself up and know that exercising is a very important part of your emotional self-care. Emotional, because when you're not feeling good, if you decided to do some fun exercising, which could be riding your bike, it could be actually doing some jumping jacks, it could be on a trampoline. You could do all kind of fun things with yourself. Just be creative and decide to do some fun, playful things. Because life is not all about always being so strategically set up to do stuff so regular all the time. That becomes so boring when you like, oh, I definitely just gotta go to my step class, and you'd be like, well, go to step class. Of course, I do love step class. I am a part of a step class at the present time with Bodied by Jen, one of my dear friends, and I love her step class. And in step class, it's fun. I play with it. It has music. But then you want to do something like dancing. Dancing is fun. You might want to go take a dance class. You might take a class, a salsa dance class. So make it fun, make it playful, but remember that exercising helps you with your emotional self-care. That is very vital. And you don't want the emotions in your body because emotion it's going through your body, and if you don't just let it out and release it, then it's going to stay entrapped in your body. And that's when we are faced with discomfort, we're faced with dis-ease, and those are the things that happen when you're not paying attention to your self emotional awareness. You have to become a emotional self-care, because emotional self-care is so vital to your everyday happy, healthy, abundant life that we are promised, right? We're promised that. So play more, that's all I'm saying. And so number four, it's kind of connected. All right, let's breathe. You want to take a deep breath with RFD? Let's breathe in. Listeners, just breathe in and then exhale. You hear me, listeners? Just take a deep breath with me one more time. And let's breathe together. See, in life, there's a time to do everything. There's a time for healing. There's a time to play. There's a time to rest. And in life, you have, just like the breath, you have to inhale things and you have to exhale. It's the balance of life. It's the balance of life. If you all just work, and you never do anything fun, then are playful, then you're out of balance. So you definitely don't want to be out of balance. If you're not connecting to your friends and you're always just strolling on the phone and you're always just got that laptop connected to your body and you're always just deciding that you have to work all day long and you're just texting people without picking up the phone, I am Otto. That's what's coming next. My Otto ebook. I was born to talk. So it's RFD Talk about self-care and healing. Okay. Laughter. Let's talk about that. That is one of the bonus things I just shared with y'all. When it comes to, and I'm just putting that in there today because the Holy Spirit wanted me to remind me, the Lord said that laughter is important as well. Laughter is very important. If you find that you ain't laughing with all the stuff that's going on in our world, because if you've been watching so much television and your vision is about, worrying the uncertain things that could happen in this country, in the USA, then you need to laugh. You need to find a place to laugh. You need to find something to laugh about. I am super grateful to be here in Greater Nashville and thankful for my community here in Nashville. And I remember before I moved to Nashville, I always wanted to go to the comedy club. And they got this great comedy club around the corner from where I live. And I got the opportunity to go there a couple of times. And I was masked up and everything. I do my best to do the best self-care with RFD. And so, but laughter actually helps you with your emotional self-care. It is so important that if you ain't went some days without laughing or just finding something to watch on TV, that's another way to help you with self-care. You can do emotional self-care. You can watch a really funny movie. Watch something that takes your mind away from the uncertainty of today and all the things that has happened on this Monday or that happened that's happening in our world. And I'm sending out love and light that our world is full of love and being kind to each other. Of course, I'm an optimist, but I have to be real. There is a lot of stuff that is really going on in our world, but I definitely recommend laughter, because guess what? Everything has a way of working itself out. We've made it through these last couple of years. We had to do a lot of pivoting and changing and being more aware and conscious and tapped in and tuned in to our, what's important in our life. But I think a lot of good things came out of that, right? So in every challenge, I believe there's good things coming out of that. So always find time to laugh, okay? And then number 4, again, I got a little off, but I wanted to go back to number 4. Number 4 is keeping a balanced diet. A balanced diet. I'm not saying that you got to be a vegan. I'm not saying that you don't have to eat meat. I don't eat pork or beef. I just tell you personally a little bit about RFD. I don't eat red meat. Mm-mm. I don't. But I didn't do it just because I was trying to get all this praise or all this who I think I am and all that. I kind of did it jokingly and took a little sabbatical, and the sabbatical became where my daughter would. I love my daughter. She's one of my favorite, favorite children. I have all five favorite children, but she's one of my favorite because she reminded me yesterday. She was like, "Mom's body is so sensitive." It is. It's the temple. It's the body of the Most High. It belongs to God. It's sensitive to junk, especially when you get to a certain age. I want to tell my daughters and all my young listeners, when you get to a certain age, you just want to keep a good balanced diet, right? So let's go back to that. You want to keep a good and some of the times when my emotions, let's talk about RFD, when my mood is like off balance and I'm not so optimistic and things are not always looking like they're going the way I plan for them to go, I have to drink water. The first thing the Lord says to me, the Lord said to RFD, get you some water. Let me take a little sip right now while we're talking. Water, H2O, is the best for the body, the mind, the spirit. It is the best thing that you can add to your everyday life. And so you want to figure out, oh, okay, we're going to take a quick break.
Way of living with diabetes is a...
You can take a sip of water.
Oh, thank you.
And always need to stick your fingers to test your blood sugar. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. Apply a discrete sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger sticks. If you are living with type 1 or type 2 diabetes and you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, you might be eligible for a CGM through your insurance benefits. U.S. Med partners with over 500 private insurance companies and Medicare. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill your insurance. Call us today for a free benefits check.
800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. That's 800-584-2519.
Welcome back to the RFD Talk, beautiful people. Yes, I'm so happy to have you here with me here at the WVOL 147, the mighty 147, I should say, the Heritage Radio Station. I am so honored to be here with you listeners and you viewers. Thank you for being here today, a part of the emotional self-care program. Our topic today is talking about emotional self-care. And I went over a few things, and one of the things we last talked about is keeping a balanced diet. A balanced diet is very important. I talked about taking a deep breath, and I also talked about taking the sip of water. Those are water actually clears the brain along with taking your deep breath, but water tends to be something like a cleanser. It makes the body feel awoke, enlightening. It makes the body feel invigorated. It also is good for your skin. It's very good. And most of the time, when anything goes wrong with us, when we go to the doctor or we go to the hospital, the first thing they say is she's dehydrated. We got to get the IVs in, and what I learned about myself, water is very number one on my list because I have those running veins, or some of you nurse might call them something else, but the veins who the nurse got to like go different places, and then I have to ask Jesus that she don't stick me no more, and then she like, girl, I'm gonna stick you one more time, RFD, and we got this, and I'm like, can you get the lady who do it just one time? So every blue I'll get that person. But then I had a wonderful nurse. Shout out to all the great nurses out there who leaves their patients with great tips. She told me I had to drink plenty of water before I go get my blood work. So my annually for my blood work now, to avoid getting the shot like 3 times before they find the vein, I add my H2O in the morning. I recommend H2O before you get your good old coffee. Get you some water. Water helps you just feel alive, right? And I also want to say another point about water. Have you ever had a plant in your house? And I have some easy growing plants. I forget the name of them. A little maintenance, and I'll tell you, my plants have grown. This plant, and everyone should have one of these plants. It's my grandmother's. Shout out to my grandmothers. They taught me to have. And I do want to say shout out to my grandmother who, Lord willing, her birthday will be coming up this week and she'll be 94. Grandma saying, happy birthday. So, excuse me, let me just move on. But one of the things my grandmother's did, I had this one plant. I can't think of the name of it. But if you ever go you can go several days without giving this plant some water. And it lives in light, low, mild lighting. So this is my favorite plant. Because I could always feel like I got a green thumb with it. But sometimes if you ever have a plant at home, some of you all have plants and flowers. And if you notice that if you go so many days without it, the flower looks a little tilted. It looks like it's going to die. It just kind of looks sad. And then you go by and you say, I'm going to give it some water. And you give it a little water and you look over there, even in that same moment, quickly, when the roots of that plant gets that water, you'll see that plant that flower just comes back to life. It's like, did that leaf just lift itself up? And so that's the power of water. So you definitely want to do your H2O, right? Definitely want to say you want to get 8 glasses or more of H2O in. And then you also want to add to your balanced diet, you want to make sure you're adding green. One of my favorite things is spinach, green beans. I love spinach and green beans. Those are like my favorite too. And I love greens. And so you want to make sure that when you're preparing your meals that you have your greens in there, some type of greens in there. And you definitely want to just make it balanced. You don't have to be a vegan, or you don't have to be vegetarian, but those are really good because your body definitely needs good nutrition. Nutrition is very important to your emotional self-care awareness, and emotional self-care wellness is very vital to you just feeling happy. Just be happy. And sometimes being happy is having a really healthy meal. I like when I eat a healthy meal, my body says thank you, my mind says thank you, my thoughts are very clear, and I feel. How did I feel? How do RFD feel when she eats well? I feel better. I feel like I can. And so feeling well is connected to your spiritual being, it's connected to your thinking person, and it's connected to your physical being. It's connected to your body. And so all of those 4 components, the mind, the feelings, the thoughts, the physical working out, the eating better, and then also if you're spiritually connected, if you have a relationship with God, the Most High, you're divinely connected, and you know that you are created by the divine great creator, God himself. And when you know that the only person you need to be approved by is him, yeah, that's when you be like, I feel good. Okay, never mind that part. The singing. I used to think I was going to be a comedian or a singer, but that's in my other world. So that's a whole nother show. We'll come back to that. So now let's talk about the number 4. My own comedian in my own world, right? In my own singing. I do that in the shower because that water, you can't hear my voice. I used to be in the choir, so those are the times in my life of singing. So now, number 4, we want to ask for help. We want to ask for help. Ask for help, people. Remember when I said if you have a fever, and it was going past 4 days or 5, 6, 7 days, and you done took the Tylenol and that fever still ain't going, you're going to ask for help. So if your feelings is still sad, let's talk about sad. Sad or feeling overwhelmed. If you're feeling angered, let's talk about angered really quick. A person that's feeling angered needs to create boundaries. And we'll talk about that because boundaries also is important to your emotional self-care. Emotional self-care. If you are angry, well, that's the highest disconnect from the Most High, from God. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Remember, I said we're four-part beings. So when you're angry or overwhelmed, guess what you're doing? You need to create boundaries. Beautiful people, creating boundaries are important. It's important. I know in life there was like you got football. Football has all these lines, and if you go over and you penalize, football is a great. It has all the boundaries, and in life if we didn't have boundaries, and if God didn't give us boundaries, and we didn't know how to create boundaries with people, and some of us don't create boundaries with people because we say yes to everything, and you don't want to do it, and you don't feel like it, and you're just angry. You're like, I'm so angry at I'm so angry with my kids. Well, you need to create better boundaries with your children. You're so angry with your coworkers because you haven't created the boundaries. You're so angry with your spouse because you haven't created boundaries. You say, honey, I am there for you when you're ready for me, and we can have an intimate moment, but you better know, let me go to sleep at 9 o'clock so that when we wake up at 6, I'm hallelujah with you. Okay. That's the boundaries, babe. I need to get my beauty sleep at 9:35. And then when you rise up and we rise up in the morning, I can service you. That's boundaries, wives. You got to create the boundaries because you want to be there for your spouse. You want to be there for your children. But when you're not creating boundaries, you get angry with people. And angry comes from you not speaking up and saying what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. So somehow somebody needed that today. So if you're getting angry and you feeling overwhelmed, I highly suggest take a deep breath and think about the boundaries that you might. And I brought up the football because football is one of the things that has a lot of boundaries. And if you get out of it, it kind of gives you the principles of boundaries, right? And what I realized in my life as I had to create a lot of boundaries because I used to be angry and overwhelmed. And I would be like, why am I so angry at this? And why am I upset? It's because I didn't have boundaries. And when you don't have boundaries, you can get in a lot of trouble with no boundaries. You can cause more health problems. Let's talk about that. When you're doing stuff for people and you know you don't want to be doing that, and and you just people pleasing, and you like, I'm just going to do it because I want them to accept me. I need you to get your emotional self-care together because you're going to show up sick somewhere. You're going to show up. I didn't know that people, when they have heart attacks, and I'm not no doctor, but them people tired. They didn't create no boundaries in their life. I'm just saying. I just know these things from self-care, people. And when I think of people and my clients, they be all burnt out and tired. They don't have no boundaries. And I'll be saying that you create a boundary with your spouse, that you create a boundary with your friends. Create boundaries so that you could be happy. Say no. Say it with me now. No. Okay. So we know that we need to ask for help. Okay. So number 4, let's go back to that. I think I kind of rumbled on right there. But number 4 or number 5, we're somewhere in there, asking for help. When you went several days and you've been angry or overwhelmed, or you've been feeling depressed, or you've been feeling sad, you better ask for help. Today, it's no need to be in pride if you need help. Okay? Asking for help is a strength that you are having. I ask for help. I'll be calling people, the right people. The Lord send me. I said, Lord, who do I need to talk to? He said, call XYZ. I said, because I need some help right now. I am having an emotional moment, and I need this emotional moment gone. And so I do. I get in my own head sometimes, and I'll be saying, Father, Father, Father. And he sends me help. I tell you, I said, Lord, you is a good God. He's a good God. Thank you, Jesus. So basically, when I say that, reach out for help. You can get therapy. It's don't be having no pride. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's a lot of amazing therapists out here. There's a lot of amazing coaches out here like myself. If you need coaching about your emotional self-care, I'm Robinfdavid. I'm here to service you. I have several programs. We can do a one-on-one. We can do a 9-week session, which the 9-week session helps you work through I can, I'm willing, and I am. And so that is a really great program for some of you who are needing to work through your self-care, emotional self-care issues. You know, we all could use help, and having help is a strength, and it also helps you move forward in your emotional experiences, in your emotional self-care. So ask for help and accept it. And if someone offers you help, OMG, say yes. Don't be so prideful and be like, well, I really don't need the help. I don't want them to help me. They ain't really who I want to be working with me. I don't know if I want. Be open. Are you open? Don't be offended when people say, hey, can I help you? Is there anything I can help you with? They're just being kind. And kindness is important today. We need to be a little more kind to ourselves. That's emotional self-care. Being kind to yourself. Yes, the Lord told me today, Robin, be kind to yourself. So I just told you a little bit about all the little things that I go through. Even as a certified life coach, I have to remind myself, be kind to myself. So be willing to accept help if someone offers it to you. And number 5, think of yourself as your own best friend. Think of yourself as your own best friend. For instance, if your own best friend had just lost a job, lost their home, maybe was in a car accident, maybe their boyfriend cheated, maybe they're going through a divorce, maybe they're breaking up or they're just separated for a little while. How do you treat your best friend when they call you and they say, life is really happening to me right now? They may be saying my job is gone. It laid me off. They may be saying, oh, my child is wayward. My child is wandered out there that I need some prayer. What would you do for your best friend? Would you just tell them that they stupid, they dumb, they got, that's your problem? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't help you right now. I don't think that's what you do to your friends. So you want to treat yourself like your best friend. So you want to be kind to yourself. You want to say, I know I can get help with this. I know I can feel better. I know there's something I can do to make myself feel good and feel happy. I know that I'm worth being healed and whole, and I know that I'm enough. I know that I have a brilliant idea, or even if they laid me off or they fired me, I know that I can do better. I know that this relationship ended. So if you know that the friend is going through, you will go to them and you'll say, listen, hey, I know that man wandered off on you, girl, but let me tell you, girl, we're going to go let's have a pedicure. You're going to say, hey, girl, I know dude walked out and you worried about your bills, but I definitely know this other way you can create some money. You will be gentle to your friend. You're going to come up with solutions. You're going to say, friend, whatever you talking about, I hear you, but I want you to know I love you. That's what you would say to your friend. You would go to your friend and you say, girl, don't worry about that. I know your child is wandering off and doing some things that seem a little different, but you know the power of prayer. I'm going to pray for you. I'm in agreement with the faith that everything is working out in the favor. So you want to tell yourself those same things. You want to tell yourself, you are worthy. I'm here for you. We're going to get through this. This is just a test. I know I've been a little bit, you want to tell your friend, I know that I am available to be here with you through this. You want to be there for your friend. So you want to treat yourself like your best friend. You want to cheer yourself on sometimes. You want to tell yourself, I'm amazing. You want to tell yourself, I'm a boss. You know what I'm saying? You want to tell yourself, that's okay. I can get a better job. That's okay. He lost a good woman. That's okay. So you got to just remember, that you are worthy, that you are enough, and being your best friend to yourself is really what is important in everything that you do. You want to show up giving yourself that same high five. Give yourself a high five in the mirror and say, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I shall rejoice. I shall rejoice. I choose to be happy. So be your best friend. And those are some of the 5 to 6. I might have went over a few more things, but I definitely want you to remember that your emotional self-care has to be number one. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's happening externally around you, you want to make sure that internally that you are well, that you feel good, that you're trusting how you feel. You can trust yourself. You know how you trust your friend, and you'll be there for your friend, like you trust that they'll show up. Then you have to trust yourself. You got to be willing to trust that you are smart, that you're brilliant, that you can get a better job, that you can create your own business, that this is the time for you to take a leap of faith and do something different, that this is where God is opening a new chapter, a new door for you. So remember to be your best friend. So I hope today in this conversation that you found something. I shared something today with you that inspires you with your emotional self-care. Emotional self-care is just a part of who you are. Remember, you have your physical part, you have your spiritual being, and you also have your mental wellness. And your mental wellness is connected to your thoughts. I am just honored to be here to share these things with you. And so I have a few more minutes with you amazing listeners here on WVOL, the Mighty 147. And I'm also thankful to all of my RFD Talk listeners and viewers from all over the world. I want you guys to know I have a little game that you can play if you have time with yourself. So get your pen, get your pencil. I'm only going to go over a few of them today, and it's called the Pampering Game. So I kind of we're going to change it to the emotional self-care game, the emotional self-care game. And one of the things you want to do with yourself is when you go through those 4 quads of who you are and learning who you are and what is out. Because it's just like when you're in the car and you're driving in your life and the GPS and you make the wrong turn and GPS says, U-turn, wrong turn. Those are the 4 quads that I brought up to you, is because somewhere in those 4 areas, you're not making that U-turn. And so you're avoiding to make the U-turn. And so it's like, then the red light comes on, then you get sick, and then you get unhappier. And so make sure that you're paying attention to those 4 quads that I spoke to you about. So this game will help you. So we're going to go to it really quickly because we have maybe 2 more minutes. And the game will be, you want to have a pencil and paper, and you want to sit down with yourself, and you want to ask yourself if you have gotten a manicure this month. You put yourself 5 points, right? So if you have gotten a manicure in the last month, give yourself 5 points. If you've gotten a pedicure in the last month, give yourself 10 points. because it is pedicure season. And if you're out here with no pedicure, I'm going to have to say that is not a self-care move. So you got to definitely give yourself points. Number 3, if you worked out or meditated in the last week, give yourself points for that. Give yourself 10 points that you are starting your day off asking, believing, and receiving. And that's in prayer and meditation and speaking the word of God over your life. And number 4 will be, have you did anything such as getting a facial, anything like that? So you want to make sure, have you drank enough water? Number 5 will be, have you drank enough water? Number 6 will be, have you ate the right foods? So always checking with your self-care. Always checking with your emotional side of yourself. And it's okay to feel those things and let those feelings come up, but don't stay there more than 3 days. It is my honor to be here today, and we are done with this show tonight. I want to thank you guys. I hope that you learned something. Please leave comments if you're on the replay. If you're a listener on YouTube, please leave your comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. Thank you, guys. I'm Robinfdavid, inspiring you to embrace, love, and nurture yourself as you do unto others.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call.